Let me explain the setup here. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to heat this hot liquor tank up. No, it doesn't have real liquor in it. It's just hot water. I'm going to heat that up to about 165, 170 degrees. It's a 10-gallon pot. Okay, I'm going to fill it almost to the brim. Okay, then over here in the far left is my mash tun. And it's got a false bottom in it, all right? What that means, and I'm just going to step over here. I didn't install the false bottom yet. This guy right here is what you call a false bottom, okay? It's going to go into the bottom of this mash tun right here. It lets the water get through, but not the grain. All right, we're beginning the milling process. This is a pretty cool process. You do this by hand one time, and then you figure out how to use a drill real quick, okay? I've gone from 5-gallon batches to 10-gallon batches, and normally you're going to do about 22 pounds, 22 pounds. This is, like I said before, 35 pounds. And what I've done is I've weighed it here on my trusty scale. Got this at a garage sale. And I've transferred it from here over to here, and it's just a funnel. And this is going to be the container that's going to hold the milled grains that will eventually go into this guy. And I've installed the false bottom in this guy now. All right, here we go. That's what the milled grain. You're basically going to crunch it up, kind of bust it open. So when I get that water mixed in with that barley, it extracts all those natural sugars out. Man, it's a lot of grain. Normally I don't have that much, okay, but I'm doing a barley wine and a regular beer. I mentioned about it earlier, called a parti-gyle. But I'm going to transfer now from this unit over to this unit. So what I have to do is open the correct valves. You know, down here you got a pump. Okay, so here's the transfer process. This is going to go down through here, down through here. I'm opening up the appropriate valves through the pump. Make sure these valves are all closed. Then come up through here, make sure all these are closed. This one's open. Then transfer over here into the mash tun. There you go, you see it? So I'm going to let this sit and try to extract all the sugars out of it. And that'll take about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. And when we get back, I'll show you the boil. So what I'm going to do is basically open this valve up, shut this valve off. And if you want to kind of get a close-up, you can kind of see the wort running in there. There you go. All right, we just finished doing the first runnings to the pretzel, and then we batch sparged again, pouring water from the hot liquor tank over to the mash. And then we empty this vessel of all water and then transfer from here back over to here for these second runnings. Also, I'm going to go ahead and plug my Homebrewers Association, the Winston-Salem Warthogs. And you may have noticed my t-shirt. Turn around. I brewed for a long time without having any assistance from anyone, and I had a lot of bottle bombs and some really crappy beer, and I had someone from the club come over and show me what I was doing wrong, and ever since then, I can't say I've had excellent beers from then on, but I've never had crappy beers anymore, okay? So it's been between pretty good beers and really great beers. So I would, if you wanted to homebrew, I would try to find a homebrew club and make all the difference in the world. When we come back, which will be shortly, we're going to put the hops in. I'm going to let these two vessels come to a boil. We're going to put the bittering hops in, and then we'll do, I think it's, I'll check the recipe, I think it's 2 more additions with the flavor and aroma hops. And then you'll get to meet my assistant behind the camera. His name is Sam. All right.
Okay, here we have 2 ounces of Columbus hops that we're going to put in the high malt mixture.
That's Columbus hops.
And we have 1.5 ounces of the Columbus hops that we're going to put in the other mixture.
Okay. Okay, we're taking the big beer now and transferring it to the fermenter. You see over here we got a counterflow chiller. Basically it's a copper tube inside another copper tube. On the outside, the water from the faucet is going on the outside, cooling the inner copper tube, which is where the beer is going through. So it cools it instantly from 212 degrees, which is boiling temperature, all the way down to whatever the water temperature is, which in my case is probably 60 degrees or so. I'm adding the yeast now. This yeast came from Foothills Brewing in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, which is where I live. They gave it to me with the generosity of the home brewers. This should be some pretty high octane stuff. Alright, right now we're doing an aeration process. I have a stainless steel tube in there. Let's see what it looks like here. See it? Okay. So I'm forcing oxygen into the wort. This is the only time you want to do that, because yeast like oxygen. But after it starts fermenting, then oxygen is the beer's worst enemy.
Alright, 12 hours into the fermentation process.
We're finally at the point where we're going to take the fermented beer and transfer it over into a keg. As you can see down here at the bottom here, that's it's an old Pepsi syrup cylinder. Holds exactly 5 gallons. Here it goes. We have 2 glasses. The big glass represents the big beer, and the small glass represents the small beer. I'll kind of hold them together, and I can tell that the one on the right, or my right, your left, is the small beer. It's a little lighter in color, and the big beer is a little darker, which makes sense. It has a lot more malt in it. So let me taste them. I feel it's lighter. It definitely has a hop presence to it. Kind of a grapefruit taste, which is common with Columbus type hops. It has Columbus and Amarillo hops in it. And then for the big beer, and this turned out to be 4.5%, and then this was just over 9% after it fermented out a little bit more. I'll try this one here. This is the barley wine style. I guess I would call this a pale ale. Yeah, definitely richer in flavor, very malty, but also has a pretty good hop kick. Not as much as this one here. But that's pretty much it. You've gone through the whole process. This is advanced brewing. If you want to get into home brewing, you really don't have to get all the trouble that I went through. But I enjoy it, and it kind of evolved into this all-grain brewing setup and the contraption with all the valves and everything. This thing went on. I've been brewing since the mid-'80s, so it's been over 20 years, and so I've evolved from stovetop to all these valves and stuff, and crushing the grains and everything. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you get into home brewing, and all I can say now is cheers.